because it's just kind of, it can start to feel annoying and condescending of people to be like, oh, you need to meditate more. Yeah. Like take time out of your day to take half an hour and you just sit and you meditate. And I know in the past, whenever I've been told that, I'm like, fuck you. First of all, I have too much to do. And second of all, that just sounds like torture. I don't want to sit and just do nothing. I want to do things. So I think, but if you like doing it that way, I am impressed by you, first of all. I just know for me, that doesn't work. But what does work was orgasmic meditation was one thing that got me into meditation more, but it's more active, it's more participatory. There's things like mindfulness meditations, or just really pulling yourself in to be present when you're on that dog walk, when you're on that run, when you're doing something with your kids. Like really remembering to pull yourself into the present moment and to notice what's coming up, to notice how you feel. And that in that way, you can be meditating all day, right? You don't actually have to schedule it in, unless that really is what works for you. If you like the structure around that, you want to do it in that way, hats off to you. I can't do it that way. But it is really, really important to bring the habit and the practice in that you're pulling yourself back into the present moment. And you can do that with that mindfulness, the presence, the breath, and noticing when you're feeling tense, when you're feeling like you are, you're just like a ball of tension. That's stress being held in your body, right? That's your sympathetic nervous system activated. And back to that quote at the beginning of having low self-esteem is like driving with the brake up. That's what that means on a physiological level, is stress in your body is trying to drive your body with the brake up all the time. It's working against you. A certain amount of stress we want to just motivate us, to keep us alive. We need cortisol to stay alive, or we have Addison's disease. And we also need to learn the skill in our present day society in how to relax. This would have been built right into kind of the tribe at one point. We didn't spend 24 hours a day working. We spent a lot of time socializing. We spent a lot of time sitting around the campfire. We spent a lot of time playing. All of those things that we used to do, we don't do anymore for the name of productivity, the name of making money, making ends meet. Looking after other people, caretaking, all of that is more and more and more stress on the body. And that tension, that constriction is what leads to chronic illness, right? Whereas relaxation, safety, is the expansion of blood vessels. Literally, oxytocin opens up the blood vessels of the heart. Nitric oxide and oxytocin are related to each other. It opens up the blood vessels going up to your brain. So now you can think in a more creative way. We want to constrict the blood vessels if we want to narrow our focus and when you're in an emergency, you want that focus to narrow so that you can get out of danger fast, ASAP. But when you're wanting to be in a creative point of problem solving type of energy, you need to be able to relax. And that includes having good sexual experiences. As women especially, we need to be able to relax in order to really have a good sexual experience. So making it a practice to know what the sensations of relaxation are for you. So this is one of the journal prompts I want you to write down. What are the sensations of relaxation for you? What does it feel like in your body? The first thing that comes to mind for me is that feeling when you lay down on the massage table to get a massage, and that first little bit, when they pull the sheet over and they rub your back, and you get like a flood of oxytocin, you get a flood of expansion of your muscles start to relax. That feeling, and you can feel it, like I feel it in my heart. I just feel everything start to relax. That's what it feels like to me. Or when you cuddle up to somebody that you really feel like you love and are safe with, those feelings, how does your heart open? I also, just side note, this has nothing really to do with this, but I just learned that oxytocin, everyone knows oxytocin as the cuddle hormone, right? It's the letdown hormone or the cuddle hormone for babies, and it's involved in breastfeeding and bonding and sexuality and all that, right? So we already kind of know that. But it's also, it has a shadow side to it, the hormone does, because it also is a very tribalism hormone, because anything that you really love, you want to protect, right? Anything that matters to you, you want to protect. And so it can also lead to racism and kind of othering of people outside of your group. And oxytocin is involved in that. And you know what else is that archetype? Is the archetype of Venus. That's it. Venus is the goddess of love and war. I just thought that was so interesting, because that's that as above, so below, or as within, so without. That fractal nature of the universe. I think that's so cool. I learned that from, like, not even it was Jamie Wheel was talking about it, of all people. He's obsessed with oxytocin. He's one of the co-writers of Stealing Fire, one of the books that I recommend that you guys read. All right. Any questions so far? Questions, comments? Your guys' questions and comments and stories do add a really good flavor to this, so keep them coming. It kind of is. So yeah, I think that we have to trust our bodies. If we're getting activated for a reason, like if something happened where our boundary is violated and we're getting a surge of bona fide anger that we need to deal with in that moment, then we need to deal with that in that moment. But if that anger or that energy has kind of sat around and either turned into stress, turned into tension, usually the telltale signs of that are resentment or aggression. Okay, so kind of like Jane was saying, I will pick a fight with my partner or with some people around me. That's a sign that something has to move, right? You need to relax. Either find a way to move the energy through you, through exercise, through something physical, or like through doing something, or you do need to take a moment to do a relaxation process, like a guided meditation or something that's going to reset you. And that's going to be different for each and every one of us, right? So somebody might go for a run. There's a few of you I know that are runners. Or somebody might want to journal it out. If you're more of an air sign, you might want to journal it. You may want to water your plants or move the energy that way. You may want to go out and play with the dogs. You may want to, go to the gym. Something to move it. Back to the tumescence thing. That means that your body is stressed out. Like, and you can't figure out really how to move that energy, because it starts to flood you. Starts to kind of like, it's your cerebral cortex or your executive functioning is turned off, and you're now in your kind of hindbrain. So I know I've talked about this with a few of you before, but there's 3 different types of people. Oh, we talked about this last time, right? Of tumescence and stress. So there's the fixed people, the volatile people, and the dissipated people, right? So I'm dissipated. So when I'm stressed out or I'm in that situation, what I would need to tell my partner is I need you to tell me what to do in small and simple steps. When I'm spacey and dissociated, and I'm clearly like, that's my signs of stress, what I need is for somebody to be like, Becky, put on your shoes. Becky, go outside. I need like clear direction until I can kind of sort myself up. So that's the dissipated people. For the volatile people, you need a job. You need something big to work on, like cleaning up the kitchen or scrubbing the toilet, or some way to move your energy that's like going to take more than just 2 minutes. Something like cleaning up is usually what we recommend. And then for the fixed people, you need to really slow down and ask what you need. Because likely for the fixed people, you've been looking after everybody else so efficiently that you've forgotten to look after yourself. So you need to be like, okay, what do I need? I need a bath. I need to calm down by looking after myself and my own self-care. Does that kind of answer your question? Okay, awesome. Anybody else have questions?
How do you know which one you are? Like, it's interesting. I'm kind of like, I don't really know.
There's a quiz I can send you.
Okay.
But basically you can kind of tell in what you do when you're stressed out. Like, do you get spacey?
I get like hyper productive.
You get hyper productive. So you might be fixed. You want to control the situation, right? Yeah, that's fixed. You like want to bring it in and be like, okay, everybody, listen to me. Like, control it. Yeah. So I would say you're fixed.
Okay.
Volatile like are really emotional really fast, but they can come down really fast too. So they're the ones that'll like yell, like come into a room and yell at everyone. And then like my mom is volatile, so she'll like one time there was a fire that started on the stove, and she started, instead of getting up and doing, so a fixed person would get up and handle it themselves basically. A dissipated person like me would just sit and stare at it like, oh my god, that sucks. And volatile person, this is what my mom did, she took a something, whatever she was holding, and started hitting my sister and yelling like, do something, and like hitting her. And that just, obviously that brings up the energy even more, right? So the volatile person will bring up the energy even more, but then she also will be over it in 2 seconds too. So that's kind of the gift of the volatile person. And the fixed person will hold the grudge forever, and the dissipated person didn't know what was going on in the first place. So
that's a really helpful example. Thank you.
yeah.